Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling something that I think defines the first year of parenthood more than diapers, more than crying, anything else really.
Has to be sleep.
It's the absolute obsession of every single new parent I've ever met.
Or, the total lack of it.
Exactly. It just rules your life. If you've got a newborn, your whole world just shrinks down to this one question: how many hours did we get? And the answer is always not enough.
Right.
But, and I want to be really clear here, there's a huge life-saving difference between just getting the baby to sleep and establishing safe sleep.
That is the critical distinction. Look, we get the desperation. It's 3 a.m, you haven't slept, you'll do almost anything.
Anything.
But our mission today is to look at this through a pediatrician's lens. We're diving into guidelines from the American Academy of Pediatrics, from healthychildren.org.
So the official sources.
The official sources. To understand how to create an environment that dramatically reduces the risk of sudden infant death syndrome and, accidental suffocation.
And that's so important because I think parents hear quiet and think that means safe.
That's it. Ascites is terrifying because it's silent. We don't always know the cause. But accidental suffocation, entrapment, those are physical events.
Things we can control.
Exactly. And that makes them preventable. So that's our focus.
Yeah.
The variables you can actually control.
Okay, let's get right into it. The golden rule. This is the one that's drilled into everyone, but has the science changed at all?
It has not. The rule is absolute. Back to sleep.
For every single sleep.
For every single sleep. Naps, nighttime, even those little 20-minute dozes, babies up to 1-year-old have to be placed on their backs.
Okay, let me play devil's advocate. You hear from, older relatives, oh, but they sleep so much deeper on their tummies. Isn't deeper sleep what we want?
For an adult, yes. For a newborn, absolutely not. That deep sleep is the problem.
How so?
A few things. First, they're at a higher risk of overheating. Second, and this is the big one, they can end up rebreathing their own exhaled air.
Rebreathing, what's that?
So imagine their face is really close to the mattress. They create this little pocket of air.
Yeah, okay.
They breathe out carbon dioxide, and then they breathe that same stale air right back in. Oxygen levels drop, CO2 goes up, and that deep sleep you mentioned means their brain's alarm clock.
The one that says wake up and breathe.
Right. It just doesn't go off.
That is terrifying. Okay.
Yeah.
So back sleeping keeps them just alert enough.
Exactly. And there's an anatomical reason, too. Parents always worry about spit up, that they'll choke if they're on their back.
It's a huge fear, yeah.
But look at the anatomy. When a baby is on their back, the windpipe, the trachea, sits on top of the food pipe, the esophagus. Gravity actually helps keep spit up out of the lungs.
And on their tummy?
On their tummy, gravity pulls it right down into the airway.
Okay, that visual makes a ton of sense.
Uh-huh.
But here's the real world problem. Babies move.
Mm-hmm.
You put them down on their back, and an hour later, they've somehow rolled onto their stomach. Do I have to go in and flip them over every 20 minutes?
This is the #1 panic moment for parents, I swear. But the guidance is actually really reassuring here.
Okay.
If the baby is strong enough to roll from their back to their tummy all by themselves, you can leave them.
Really? I don't need to stand guard all night.
No. Once they've mastered that skill, their brain and muscles are developed enough to protect their airway. But, and this is a huge but, you always start them on their back.
You control the start.
You control the start, they control the middle.
Got it. Okay, let's talk about containers, because
Okay.
we all know that trick. Baby screaming, you put them in the car seat, drive around the block, and silence.
Magic.
So can we just leave them there to finish the nap?
I hate to be the bad guy, but no, you really can't.
Why not? They look so secure.
It's about their anatomy. A newborn's head is huge and heavy, and their neck muscles are, basically noodles.
Right.
When you prop them up at an angle in a car seat or a swing, gravity pulls that heavy head forward.
The classic chin-to-chest slump.
Yes. And you have to think of their airway like a soft little straw. When that chin hits the chest, it kinks the straw. It's called positional asphyxia. It's silent, and it happens fast.
So even if the car's not moving, just having them in the seat on the living room floor is a risk.
That's right. The angle changes. The risk goes up. As soon as you're home, you have to move them to a flat, firm surface.
Even if it wakes them up.
Even if it wakes them up. I know, it's painful advice.
Man, it is. But that kinked straw visual, that's going to stick with me. Okay, what about tummy time? We just said back is best, but then the doctor is always telling you to do tummy time. It feels contradictory.
It's actually the other half of the same coin. The mantra is Back to sleep, tummy to play.
Ah, okay.
Because they're on their back so much for safety, we need tummy to play to build up those exact neck and shoulder muscles they need to. Well, to eventually lift their head and breathe if they get into trouble. But it's always an awake, supervised activity.
Got it. Okay, let's move to the crib itself. You go online, and you see these gorgeous nurseries. Fluffy blankets, matching bumper pads, a whole family of stuffed animals in the corner.
And it is a death trap.
Ooh. Okay, lay it on us. Why? Because it looks so cozy.
Cozy is a marketing word, not a safety word. A safe crib should look, honestly, like a boring, empty box.
So what's in the box?
A firm mattress with a tight-fitting sheet. That's it. Nothing else.
Nothing. No little pillow, no cute quilt.
Nope. Bare is best. No pillows, no quilts, no sheepskins, and especially no bumper pads.
Okay, bumper pads. A lot of parents fight for these. The logic is, I don't want my baby to bonk their head on the hard wooden slats.
I get the logic, I do.
Yeah.
But let's assess the risk. If a baby rolls into a slat, they might get a little bump. They might cry.
A minor thing.
A minor thing. But if a baby rolls face first into a soft, puffy bumper pad, they can suffocate or get wedged. The risk of suffocation or strangulation from the ties is just infinitely higher than the risk of a little bump on the head.
So it's just a mattress and a sheet.
Until they are at least 12 months old, yes.
And on cribs themselves. What about hand-me-downs? My sister offers me her crib from, say, 2005. Cribs are expensive. Should I take it?
You should politely say no. This is really, really important. In June of 2011, the safety standards for cribs changed completely.
What happened in 2011?
They banned drop-side rail cribs.
Oh, yeah, where the side slides down.
Exactly. They were convenient, but the hardware was prone to breaking or warping. And when it did, it would create this V-shaped gap between the mattress and the rail.
And babies could slip into it.
Babies were slipping into that gap and getting trapped. It was a hardware failure issue, so they banned the whole design.
So if you have one.
Disassemble it and throw it away. Don't sell it. Don't donate it. It's just not safe.
Okay, so we've got the baby on their back in a boring, empty, modern crib. Now, where do we put that crib? This brings us to the great debate. Room sharing versus bed sharing.
And we have to be so precise with our language here. The AAP recommends room sharing.
Which means
the baby sleeps in their own separate space, a crib or a bassinet, but that space is in the parent's bedroom. Ideally, within arm's reach.
so they're close, but not in your bed.
Exactly. And doing this for at least 6 months, preferably a full year, can reduce the risk of SIDs by up to 50%.
Wow.
Plus, it makes feeding easier. You can monitor them. It's just safer.
But then there's bed sharing. Co-sleeping. I know so many people who do it, and usually it's just from pure exhaustion.
It happens. And it's important to understand why it happens. You are bone tired, and the baby settles instantly when they're next to you. It feels natural.
It does.
But our adult beds are not designed for infants. The mattresses are too soft, for one. A baby's heavy head can create a little depression they can roll into and not be able to get out of. And then you add in our big fluffy duvets, our pillows.
They're all suffocation hazards.
Every single one. And I have to bring up sofas and armchairs here.
Oh, the notes on this were truly scary.
They are. The risk of death is incredibly high if you fall asleep with a baby on a sofa. They get wedged between the cushions or between you and the back of the chair. It is an absolute entrapment nightmare. If you feel yourself drifting off, you have to get up and move.
Let's pivot to a tool that is recommended, but can also be tricky. Swaddling. The baby burrito.
The swaddle can be a lifesaver. It really helps calm a fussy baby and keep them on their back.
Why does it work so well? Is it just keeping them from moving?
It's biological. Babies are born with the Moro reflex, the startle reflex. You know that feeling when you're just drifting off and you suddenly jerk awake?
Yeah, the kick.
Babies have that constantly. Their little arms fly out and they wake themselves up screaming. The swaddle just mimics the tight feeling of the womb and prevents that flailing.
But there's a right way and a wrong way to do it.
A very wrong way. You have to watch 2 things, their hips and their chest.
Okay, hips first. I've heard frog legs.
Yes. You want their legs to be able to bend up and out like little frogs. If you swaddle their legs straight and tight, you can actually damage their hip joints.
So tight on the arms, loose on the legs.
Exactly. And for the chest, you need to be able to slide 2 or 3 of your fingers between the swaddle and the baby's chest. They need room to breathe deeply.
And then there's the cutoff date. This isn't forever.
This is a hard stop. The moment, and I mean the very first moment, you see your baby showing signs of trying to roll over, The swaddle has to go.
Why so urgently?
Because if a baby who is swaddled manages to roll onto their stomach, their arms are pinned. They have no way to push themselves up.
They're trapped face down.
It's a major, major suffocation risk.
One last thing here.
Yeah.
Weighted swaddles. I see them advertised everywhere.
And the AAP says absolutely not. No weighted swaddles, no weighted blankets.
Why is that?
For one, the weight can compress their tiny chest and restrict breathing. But two, we worry it might make them sleep too deeply. We want their brain to be able to arouse them, to wake them up if they're in trouble. The weight might dampen that natural survival instinct.
We've covered a lot of don'ts. Let's talk about some do's. Protective factors that actually lower the risk of SIDS.
Yes, and some of them might surprise you. First is temperature. Overheating is a big SID trigger.
So, no hats indoors.
No hats indoors for sleep after the first few hours of life. And don't overbundle them. The rule of thumb is just one more layer than you would wear to be comfortable.
And how can you check?
Just feel their chest or the back of their neck. If it feels hot or sweaty, they're too warm, take a layer off.
What about pacifiers? I've heard they help, but parents worry about nipple confusion.
The data is really strong. Offering a pacifier at nap time and bedtime significantly reduces SID's risk. We aren't 100% sure why, but it might keep their airway more open.
And for breastfeeding moms.
Just wait a few weeks until nursing is really well established, then go for it. And if it falls out in the middle of the night, don't worry, you don't have to pop it back in.
That's a relief. Okay, I want to spend our last few minutes on the parents, because knowing the rules is one thing, but following them when you're hallucinating from exhaustion is another.
This is maybe the most important part. You need a plan before you're exhausted, because your decision-making brain is basically offline at 3 a.m.
So let's run a scenario. It's 3 in the morning, the baby is screaming, you bring them into your bed to feed them because you just can't sit up in a chair anymore. What's the safety plan?
Okay, ideally you get up, but if you think there's even a 1% chance you'll fall asleep in that bed, you have to prep the environment first.
What does that mean?
Before you even start feeding, strip the bed. Push your heavy duvet and your pillows onto the floor. Move the baby away from the edge. You want to create the safest possible surface, just in case.
It's harm reduction.
Exactly. And set an alarm on your phone for every 10 minutes. It's annoying, but it'll jolt you enough to check on the baby and hopefully move them back to their crib.
What about that advice you always hear? Put them down drowsy but awake. I feel like every parent tries it and the baby just starts screaming.
It's the hardest skill to teach, but it's such an important investment. If you always rock them to sleep, that's the only way they know how to fall asleep.
So when they wake up between sleep cycles, they need you to do it all over again.
Right. They can't self-soothe. The key is to try a ladder of intervention.
A ladder.
Yeah. You put them down, they fuss, you wait a minute, you just stand there, then use your voice, I'm right here, then a hand on their chest. You escalate slowly instead of just immediately scooping them up.
You're teaching them the crib is a safe place.
Yes, and that you haven't abandoned them.
And finally, asking for help.
You cannot do this alone. You need a safety squad. You have to be able to hand the baby to a partner, a friend, a grandparent, and say, I need to sleep for 2 hours.
But you have to make sure they know the rules, right? Because grandma might want to tuck them in with a nice fluffy blanket.
You have to have that conversation. Mom, I love you, but you must put the baby on their back, and please, no blankets. You are the CEO of your baby's health. You set the policy.
I love that. CEO the baby. Okay, to wrap this up, if you remember nothing else, what are the big 3?
1, back to sleep, every time. 2, a firm, flat, separate surface. 3, keep that surface empty. Bare is best.
It sounds so simple and kind of boring.
It is boring. Boring is safe. And here's the shift in thinking. These rules aren't just about restricting you. They are about giving you peace of mind.
How do you mean?
When you know for a fact that your baby is in the safest possible environment, you don't have to lie there staring at the monitor full of anxiety.
Safe sleep for the baby means sounder sleep for the parent.
You are buying yourself the ability to actually relax and sleep.
That's a fantastic way to frame it. Safety isn't stress, it's freedom from stress.
First,
I want to leave everyone with a final thought on that. We always try to solve parenting problems by buying things. A better gadget, a special pillow, a new app. But the data on safe sleep shows that the most effective tool is actually subtraction.
taking things away.
Taking away the bumpers, the fluff, the incline. Trusting this very simple biological approach, it makes you wonder.
Yeah, are there other parts of parenting where we're just over-engineering things? Where maybe doing less, just removing the clutter, is actually doing so much more for our kids?
Something to sleep on, if you can get any. Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.